Hello students, I'm Himani Sharma, your educator. I warmly welcome you all on our YouTube platform where we in today's video are going to move ahead and talk about the previous year questions which are related to post-colonial theory. So we all know post-colonial theory somewhere or the other is trying to undo whatever the British people or the colonizers from any colonies have left their impact, right? Any sort of Western influence that we have, it wants to undo that. Because if you remember, we know that the British, especially during the times of the East India Company, and moreover what they tried to do at that point of time, when they were colonizing, they thought that they were the people, the colonizers. They mostly thought that they were the people who were much more civilized, they knew the way of the world, they were the ones whose duty was to civilize the other people who are savage, who are barbaric, who are uncivilized, right? So they thought that because of us, we can make a difference and we can change the way these people look upon their own selves. But that was not their mission. Their mission was, of course, to subjugate the people in the colonies and rule over their empire. This is what we know as colonialism. So post-colonial theory, as the name itself suggests, it talks about the impact, the effect that the colonizer has left on the mind, body, etc. of the people of the nation which was being colonized, right? So we have multiple figures here. So in this particular video, we are going to discuss the previous year questions that are related to this particular literary theory. The very first question that I have for you all here is that Imagined Communities is a book by 𝐬𝐨𝐥𝐿, Edward, it's not Said, it's Said, Edward Said, Perry Anderson or Benedict Anderson. So your strategy should be to keep a pen and paper handy because these videos will be helpful for you. You don't have to go and find from multiple sources the questions related to that theory. तो अपने पास एक notebook, pen, paper, etc. लेके बैठना है so that you can note things down. Secondly, जब आप कोई question देखो, you should pause your video there and then, read the question carefully and then play it again because I will be moving forward with the questions in the normal manner as it is. So the answer to this question is option D, that is Benedict Anderson. Now Imagined Communities, ये जो works है ना, you need to memorize, or at least if not memorize, at least you need to note down their particular dates, right? Years. So this was a book which was published in 1983, right, by Benedict Anderson. Moving forward to the second question that we have, who among the following developed the term strategic essentialism? Edward Said, Gayatri Chakravarti Spivak, Homi Bhabha or 𝐬𝐨𝐥𝐿. All of them are the prominent figures in the post-colonial theory itself, right? So the right answer to the question is option B, that is Gayatri Chakravarti Spivak. Now she has been one such person who tries to take the idea of Foucault. वो कहती हैं कि knowledge के through, if the knowledge, whosoever is in power, they are distributing, they have the hold over what knowledge is to be distributed. ठीक है? So whosoever will be in power, they will control किस तरीके से कौन सी knowledge क्या लोगों के mind में चीजें जानी चाहिए, right? So this is what she propagates, and this idea she takes from Foucault, from his concept of episteme, from his concept of discourse, that through the discourses that are there, be it in the form of oral or written format, चीजें जो हैं लोगों तक पहुंचती हैं. But that knowledge is also something which is taken care of by the dominant class that is there, whosoever will be in power. तभी हम जब फूको को पढ़ते हैं तो ये तीन terminologies, power, episteme and discourse, they are interlinked with one another, that whosoever will be in power will be controlling the knowledge, and the knowledge how will it be spreading? It will be spreading through the discourses, and the discourses can be either in the form of a written format or in the oral format. Now coming back to the term that she tries to coin in here, she has written a very famous essay, Can the Subaltern Speak? Right? So she has taken the idea of subaltern and she tries to explore that idea, that how subaltern minorities को बोलते हैं, वो people who cannot put their point across, who have been somewhere or the other exploited from a very longer period of time, right? So she says that even if I try to talk about in this essay, can the subaltern speak? Can they literally speak? Can the minorities literally speak? They still need a representative, right? So she tries to contradict in the entire essay, not herself, but the way things are. कि अगर हम लोग एक minority से belong कर रहे हैं, we also need somebody as a representative. But why the representative is required? Why not the subaltern? Why can't they put their point across, put it forward and speak for their own selves, right? And with this term strategic essentialism, she tries to say that of course this subaltern group needs to, undo what the dominant ideology is trying to process or, put across or subjugate on the people who are the subalterns. ठीक है, तो ये strategically एक essential point of view बता रही हैं that how through the terminology she is trying to say that these people should rise up and voice their opinions, voice whatever they are feeling, be it good or bad, right? And stand against the dominant ideology. Right? So this is what she says through this particular term. So option B is the right answer. Moving forward, we have which of the following statement is the most accurate regarding Edward Said's thesis on Orientalism. So you will have to pause again. The answer to, these are the options. You will pause again. Okay, the answer to this question is option A. That is option 3 only. एडवर्ड सईद बात करते हैं अपने वर्क ओरिएंटलिज्म नहीं, दैट हाउ दी वेस्टर्न पीपल, अब यहाँ पे एक पॉइंट इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है, ओरिएंटल और ऑक्सीडेंटल का. नाउ ओरिएंटल आर द पीपल फ्रॉम द ईस्टर्न पार्ट. ठीक है, ईस्ट वाले लोगों को हम लोग कह देते हैं ओरिएंटल, Occidental, the people from the West. Now, Edward Said, because he is from the postcolonial theory, he tries to talk about that how the Occidental has tried to picture the image of the East. So, if you look back to option number 3 here, the Europeans, that is the Occidental, I'll have to just wait. The Occidental, how, or the West, they used the East oppositionally to define their self-image as rational and modern. If you remember in the beginning of the video, I already told you that the Western people, the Occidents, were the ones who were trying to, colonizers were trying to say, कि हम लोग ही civilized हैं. We are the ones who are civilized, we are the ones who live in a cleaner, hygienic state. We know how to talk, we know how to walk, etc. Right? But the Western people said that about their own selves, just to project their own selves as something who are rational beings and modern. इन्होंने जो हमारे ओरिएंटल हैं, द ईस्टर्न पीपल हैं, उनके ऑपोजिशन में खड़े हुए थे. ऑपोजिशन का मतलब क्या हुआ? अगर ब्लैक है तो ऑन द ऑपोजिशनल साइड वी विल हैव व्हाइट. द सेम थिंग ईस्ट के बारे में इन्होंने बोला कि ईस्ट इज अनसिविलाइज्ड बट द वेस्ट इज सिविलाइज्ड, राइट? सो दे स्टूड ऑपोजिशनली इन फ्रंट ऑफ द ईस्टर्न पीपल जस्ट टू प्रोजेक्ट देयर ओन सेल्व्स कि हम बहुत समझदार हैं, हम सिविलाइज्ड हैं, ये लोग बार्बरिक हैं, ये तो खाना भी ट्राइबल ऐसे खाते हैं जैसे हाथ से खाते हैं. दे डोंट नो हाउ टू ईट विद अ फोर्क एंड अ नाइफ, राइट? सो दिस इज व्हाट ही ट्राइज टू टॉक अबाउट इन हिज बुक ओरिएंटलिज्म. तभी तो in most of the times we have seen that in the British history nobody really talks about in Britain and other histories as well, in English history में हमें ज़्यादातर we don't see the history which is related to the colonization, right? So that is far removed from reality that was already there. Moving forward to the next book, the author of Nation and Narration is option D, Homi Bhabha. So whenever you are doing these things, you need to know about the terms and terminologies, etc. that they have coined. So Homi ke Bhabha ne hybridity coin kari hai, right? So whenever you are preparing your notes, you need to know that. Now Nation and Narration was one book, again I told you, इनकी publication years याद होने चाहिए, 1990 में it was published, right? Moving forward to the next question, preface to Franz Fanon's The Wretched of the Earth was written by whom? Very famous question. The answer to, you can pause your screen of course, the answer to this question is option C, Jean-Paul Sartre. Sartre was one person who wrote the preface to Fanon's The Wretched of the Earth. The Wretched of the Earth again was published in 1961. Correct? So, these things are important. Now here you will have to match the items and ideas with the writers who were there. So this question will take some of your time. The answer to this question is option C, that is A is to 3, B is to 4, A is to 3, B is to 4, yes of course. Third space is Homi ke Bhabha and structure of feelings is Raymond Williams. So you can note this thing down entirely. The next question is also somewhere or the other like this only, matching the books with the writers. The Mad Woman in the Attic, The Wretched of the Earth, Shakespearean Negotiation. Is there a text in this class? So take your time. I'll show you the options here. You can pause and read. The answer to this question is option C, A is to 4, B is to 1. So we have covered this in the feminist criticism video, that Mad Woman in the Attic is by Sandra Gilbert and Susan Gubar, right? The Wretched of the Earth, we just did that, it is by Franz Fanon, right? Then we have Shakespearean Negotiations. ये हमारी feminist literary theory की है, right? ये Wretched of the Earth is post-colonial, right? Shakespearean Negotiation is by Stephen Greenblatt. It is about new historicism. And then we have Stanley Fishka. Is there a text in a class? Reader response theory. Right? So from one question itself, 4 of your things have been provided as an answer. Right? So I hope this much is clear to you all and you note and make your notes down according to what is important has been asked in the examination. I'll come with another video on some another day. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.